Hi there. So I had some time between other projects that I'm working on, and I decided to make a short little game, and Spooter came to be. So I'm going to have two videos about this. In this one, we're going to talk about the game itself and the game design, and how the balance decisions that I made, and how I thought about this game. And the next video, which will only interest probably part of you, I'm actually going to go into Unity. It's going to be way longer probably, and we're going to go into Unity, show you how I made the game with Unity, and even show you code and all that stuff. So links are going to be at the bottom, and notes and whatever, but now let's just look at Spooter specifically. So I made this in 2 days. I just had a couple of thoughts about making a fun little arcade game that's pretty difficult, and day 1 was design and balance, and day 2 was GUI and polish. So I really made this yesterday in terms of how the game actually plays, and all the GUI elements that are pretty terrible to work with right now because of Unity. Right now the GUI is pretty bad unless you use one of the plugins. Unity 5 will have better GUI, so it'll suck less, but yeah, the GUI took a long time. Let's just say it like that. And yeah, that was pretty much today. So how to play, I'm just going to go into it for a second. Yeah, everything here is made out of GUI, and it's not the greatest thing in the world, but yeah, let's just talk about this. Up here you got the score. Okay, well, let's start with the beginning. You are the mighty spin shooter. Okay, so you spin to shoot, you spoot. And you move with the WASD or the arrow keys. While moving, you move while spinning, you move pretty slowly, and if you're not spinning, you move a lot faster. We'll talk about that. This is your HP. If it reaches 0, it's game over. You shoot these things, you hit these things, they are your enemies. If they hit you, your score multiplier will reset to 1, and you also get 3 seconds of invincibility. Kind of helps you to clear the screen. We'll see that as well. And they come from everywhere around the screen, so nowhere is really safe. You kind of want to try and be in the middle as much as you can in terms of strategy, because they can come from any direction. And yeah, this is a timer. Guess what it does? It's a timer. And yeah, that's the score, and let's just start playing and actually see how it works. So I'm clicking the mouse, and you can see that I start moving around, and I start spinning really and shooting as well. These are coming from everywhere. My score goes up, my multiplier goes up, and this is just the blunt of the gameplay. So I thought about the real theme of this, and there we go, I got hit. The real theme here was, you know, in an FPS where you have this machine gun or this minigun, and you crank it up, and you start, and it takes you a couple of seconds to reach the maximum rotation, which actually sends out bullets. So that's kind of what I wanted to go here, and I feel like I did achieve it. It's a very small period. It takes about 1 second from 0 to reach your maximum rotation speed, I'd say. But there is that 1 second, and everything relates to that. So your score depends on your rotation. If you're spinning at the maximum speed, then you're getting the maximum amount of score that you can, clearly according to your multiplier. The multiplier, only when you're spinning, the timer keeps moving, and every 3 seconds that you are spinning, the multiplier goes up. If you get hit, clearly the multiplier resets to 1. And your score goes up only when you're spinning, according to how much you're spinning, according to your multiplier. Now, the speed at which you shoot is also a factor of that. And you can barely feel that, so you shoot like duck, 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 duck. You reach that. Again, I wanted to have that feeling of going into the maximum amount. And it's really short, and that's something that I'm thinking about in terms of balance. I might want to make it a little bit longer, maybe 2 or 3 seconds or 4 seconds for you to really crank up until you reach the maximum amount of rotation. But currently, I really like it, how it is right now, and I feel that it works. I have to see according to balance. There's 2 things I want to note about that actually I wanted to do in a specific way, and I ended up doing in a very different way. First things first is when shooting, you'll notice that if I'm shooting really, really close to where I am, the speed of the actual bullet is a lot slower. So if I shoot really close to me, the bullet will come out very slowly. If I shoot very far away, it'll come out very quickly. Okay, the speed will be very quickly. And this is something that's 100% how I implemented it, but I didn't mean to do it that way. It just kind of came out. and I thought it was really cool, and I enjoyed it, and that's why I left it in. I could have you know, the speed of the bullet comes out is always the same, but this is more fun. I liked this mechanic that I left it. The speed at which you shoot bullets, the interval between each shot, is the same. But the speed of the actual bullet is what changes here, okay? So I'm shooting every specific time that doesn't change, but if the bullet is really close to me, then they're really slow, and you can see that it kind of creates a situation where there's bullets all over the place going in all kinds of directions, and that's a lot of fun. The other thing is the actual enemies, they're not looking at you, okay? You'd expect them to look at you because they're tracking you. What I mean, if this is me, and this is the enemy, so if it's here, he's looking at me, and you'd expect him to look at me no matter where I go, right? But that doesn't happen. They're just squares and they're just moving. And the reason I left it that way, because I just started that way, checked that it works, but the reason I left it that way and didn't actually implement the rotation is because when you hit them, you need two bullets to actually destroy one of these. And when you hit it with one bullet, they actually start spinning around, okay? Because they can spin. I didn't lock their rotation, so they can actually spin. And that fits into the theme of the game, which is spinning around and shooting, right? So I thought that was really cool, and you don't really see it a ton because they go away very, very quickly. You only need 2 hits to destroy them. But you do see them starting to spin, and I felt that was really cool, and that's why I just left it in the game. Okay, so again, you can see them sometimes just, if I'll try and shoot like just one bullet. No, come on, just one. I keep missing. It's amazing. I keep missing. Oh, you can see that he's rotating. I shot just one pellet, and you can see that he's spinning around. And I thought that was really cool, so I left it in there. Another thing is, when you get hit, you get a little bit of invincibility. And this is really important to allow you to clear the screen in a way. So I have 2 HP right now, and if I get hit, then I could just clear the screen. If I have a lot of them following me, like you just saw, I get hit once, and then they all, they get destroyed once they hit me, so it allows me to clear the screen. What's also important to note is that you stop spinning when you get hit. You stop spinning completely. And that's really important because you need that penalty. You need that feeling that your spinning and shooting was interrupted. You got hit. So it just stops, and all it requires you to do is really let go of the button because you're pressing down all the time. Let go and then click again. And that's just an instant. But that instant is very important because it brings that little bit of, damn, that little bit of frustration getting hit, and that emphasizes it, and that's really important. That's really important to me, I feel, and clearly your multiplier got reduced and all that, and you lost 1 life, so you were about to die faster. So that was really important. Another thing to note is that if I'm shooting, I'm really slow, and they're actually faster than me. They're actually a little bit faster than me. You see that they're actually almost catching up to me if I'm shooting and I'm not shooting at them and they're not dying. They're catching up to me. But if I'm not shooting, I'm actually twice as fast. I think it's it's exactly twice as fast. You can see that I could avoid them forever. The thing is that if I start shooting, I'll slow down and I'll try and kill all of them, and I might succeed here. Yeah, I did it. Okay, but the reason for this is that if you're in a clutch movement, I wanted there to be a reason for you to spin all the time, but also a reason to stop spinning for a second. And it doesn't happen always. It usually doesn't happen, but you can use it. It's an advanced tactic in a way where if I'm really, they're almost getting me, so I can stop spinning or evade them for a little bit and then continue shooting. And what this allows me to do is, I don't want to get hit, but I'm going to get hit. I can stop spinning for a second, which isn't as terrible as getting hit. I'm not spinning, I'm not gaining score, okay, and I'm not destroying anything, but I can get away and then start spinning again. And this is a kind of an advanced tactic that I hope players will actually use and utilize properly as they get better skill-wise in the game. One last thing that we want to talk about is the difficulty. The difficulty is completely constant. The rate at which things are spawned all around you is, I believe, between 0.3 and 1 second. So it's always that. It's random, but it's always that. The game doesn't get harder. There's no progression in that sense whatsoever. The game is just difficult because as you're moving around, because you have no idea where they're coming from, that's the main difficulty, okay? Because you don't know where they're coming from, eventually you're going to be at the left side of the screen, okay? You're going to be here at the left side, and the one is going to come from the left side, and you have very little time to react, and you're going to get hit. So that's where the difficulty comes from. It's always pretty difficult, but it never changes, okay? There's no progression in that sense. Now, about progression and about a million other things that I could do here, okay? I could have different types of enemies, I could have power-ups, and I could have gaining HP, so the game could go on forever, supposedly, if you collect them. You know, there's so many other things that I could do, but it's a 2-day game. I just wanted to have a coherent, good, arcadey experience. It's pretty difficult. You just got to play it. There's no real leaderboards, but, you know, get the best score and print screen and show to your friends or something, or, I don't know, tell me how much score you managed to gain. And that's it. I'm looking for a lot of feedback, so go ahead and play it. You can play this on my website right now. The links are in the description, whatever, and up on the screen and whatnot. Leave me a comment either here on the YouTube, either on the website. Send me an email if you have a lot to say. I want to know what people think in terms of the balance. That's the most interesting. Don't tell me that the GUI is terrible. I know. I want to, you know, I might change it a little bit. I have still more spare time, so I'm going to change it up a little bit. Maybe have more difficulty settings, easy and hard, and there's a million things you could do here. But as it stands right now, I made it in 2 days. I really like it. Go ahead and try it. Let me know what you think. The next video is going to be about coding and how I made this in Unity itself. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been fun. Go play. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys next time.